chilling. We're gonna film my March wrap-up. I read this month, so, okay. This month I read a total of 10 books. I have so far, every month this year, read 10 books. So, I did actually read an entire completed series this month, which was insane. So we're just gonna get straight into it. First book that I read this month, I actually have returned to the library. That was By Your Side, written by Casey West. It's a YA contemporary romance about a girl who gets trapped in a library over a long weekend and is trapped with a guy. So you can see where it's going. It's like a Hallmark movie romance. Pretty basic, I would say. It's, yeah. Also, can you guys see my ACOTAR series up there? I finally got all of them, except for A Court of Frost and Starlight in the new paperback editions. I do have like a hardcover though of that, so I do have editions of every single book of Sarah J Maas's Court of Thorns and Roses series. So yeah, that's the first book I read. I gave it a 4-star. I enjoyed it. It's probably one of my favorite Casey West that I've read. Then I don't know what just happened. Okay, I'm so confused as to what just happened, but we're still filming my wrap-up. So the second book I read is A Court of Silver Flames, which is the new A Court of Thorns and Roses book that just came out in February, and I read it, and I gave it a 5 stars. This is probably my favorite out of the whole series so far. I love The Court of Mist and Fury, but this one might be my favorite. It was just amazing, and I loved the whole thing. I tabbed it. I should have like a review and a reading vlog coming soon, but I've just been so behind on editing, I don't even know. I've been behind on everything, so 5 out of 5 stars. It is definitely one of my favorite books of the month. I will be talking about my 3 favorite books of the month at the end. So yes, it was so good. The rest of the books I read were all from this series, and that is Shatter Me by Tahada Mafi. So I started and finished the Shatter Me series this month, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. So basically I read Shatter Me last year in like September, and I gave it a full 5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was amazing, and I never continued on because I just forgot. So I started it again, and I gave it only a 4-star because Adam, if you know what I'm talking about, you know. This series is about a girl who has a lethal touch where if she touches anyone, she can kill them, and she basically, her parents don't love her and they're scared of her, so they put her in a insane asylum, and the world is going to crap. A place called the Reestablishment is taking over the entire world, and it's a dystopian fantasy romance. I would say mainly dystopian because, yeah. And if you are a fan of the show on Netflix, She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, I would highly recommend you read this. This reminds me of it. Oddly enough, I am reminded of that series so much when I read this series, because wow, it's very reminiscent. Also, I'll be telling you if they're library books or not library books. So By Your Side was a library book. This one is my book, so I get to put it back on my shelf at the end of the video. And this was also my own book. So then, the next book I read, obviously, was Unravel Me, written by Tahada Mafi. So this is book number 2. You can tell it's a library book. It has a barcode. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I actually enjoyed it considerably more than Shatter Me. It did have, obviously, more Warner. So I have to say it was one of my favorites. I really did enjoy it. Then I read, so basically you read Shatter Me, and then you read Destroy Me, and then you read Unravel Me, and then you read Fracture Me. So that's what I did. So this one just happens to come after Unravel Me because that's when I finished the book. It also has Juliet's journal, so I did read it. I'm not going to rate it. It was like 10, 20 pages. So Destroy Me was Warner's novella, so I gave it a 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. And Fracture Me was Adam's novella. The only reason I gave it a 4-star is because I feel like it was necessary and you needed to read it. So I gave this book in total a 4.5 star just to round it out and even it out. So next book was the 3rd book of the series, Ignite Me by Tahada Mafi. You can also tell this is a library book. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. Definitely one of my favorite books of the month. I adored this book with a burning passion. Like, it was so good. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, I can't say anything about the sequels, but Warnett moments was everything. And I read the 4th book, and so that was Restore Me, written by Tahada Mafi, of course. I give this book a 3 star. This was the lowest rated book of the month, my least favorite book of the month. Yeah, I really was disappointed because if you didn't know, Shatter Me was originally just a trilogy, and then she added on 3 more books and 4 novellas. So I had high hopes because I just came off of Ignite Me, and extreme disappointment. And I read Defy Me, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. So I'm kind of shocked because I've seen Whitney at Witty Novels videos about Defy Me and how much she hated it. And I really, really enjoyed it. I don't know. It was my favorite. One of my favorites out of the series, one of my favorites of the month. It was amazing. And I rated it a 5 out of 5 stars, as I said. This is also a library book, obviously. Most of the books were a library book this month. I read Find Me, so you actually read Shadow Me in between, like, you read Restore Me, and then you read Shadow Me, and you read Defy Me, and then you read Reveal Me. So these are both novellas from Kenji's perspective. I gave them both a 4.5 star. I really enjoyed it, so I just gave the whole thing a 4.5 star. I really enjoy hearing from Kenji's perspective because he is my favorite character out of the entire series. So I did really enjoy this. Also, so pretty. So yeah. Oh, this is also my own book, so it does get to go on my shelf. The last book I read this month, which I actually finished on the last day of the month at like 7 at night, and that was Imagine Me. So I read the last book of the series on the last day of the month, and I gave it a 4.5 star. I really enjoyed it. It was one of the higher up ones. So yeah, that's all I read this month. I really enjoyed myself. I had a really good reading month. And so now we'll talk about my favorites and the ones I didn't like as much. So my favorites of the month. Okay, we'll talk about my least favorites. My least favorite. We'll just do my least favorite. Restore Me, if you were watching the video at all till now, that's pretty obvious. This is my least favorite book out of the series, my least favorite book I've read this month. There were parts that I enjoyed, obviously, but honestly, could not. Alright. So, my top 3 books of the month were probably, I'm just gonna do in 3rd, 2nd, 1st place. So in 3rd place, we have Defy Me. Shocked out of my mind. This is the 5th book. I'm very shocked. I don't know how this got into my favorites, but it was so good. Masterpiece. 2nd place, we have Ignite Me. I love this series, but I didn't love it as much as A Court of Thorns and Roses. So I had to put it in 2nd place, but this was the best book out of the entire series, and it was really, really good. And then obviously my 1st place book, I don't think this is coming to a shock as to anybody, was A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. I really, really liked this book, and I found it really entertaining and really fun to read. And if you liked the ACOTAR world, I think you should definitely read this. If you were thinking about not reading it because maybe the last ones you didn't love as much, or it's really big so you're scared of it, go for it. Like, please read it. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope you enjoyed the 10 books I read this month, because I sure enjoyed reading all 10 of them. And I hope you guys will stick around for my next video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know in the comments what your favorite book you read this month was. And if you have any book recommendation ideas or any video recommendation ideas for me. And I will see you guys in my next video.